Before everything went dark, Bruce remembers one of the rare moments of light. A simple game with his parents and Alfred, laughter filling the room. The kind of joy that died the night his parents were murdered. But that memory vanishes like smoke, replaced by the brutal now. Batman races through Gotham's highways, chasing a smuggling ring using trucks to move unidentified corpses out of the city. As the truck barrels down the road, forcing civilians off the highway, Batman makes sure to protect everyone caught in the path before launching himself onto the vehicle. He takes down the smugglers fast, but the real shock waits inside. He opens the cargo hold and finds a corpse. His own. A dead Bruce Wayne. Later, disguised as a morgue doctor, Bruce examines the body and DNA confirms it. It's Bruce Wayne. No illusions, no tricks. But this version has only some of his scars and appears to have worn a wedding ring. And his face has laugh lines, signs of happiness. Immediately, Bruce knows this was a different path. Another life, lived well. But he knows exactly who would pull a corpse from another world. It's him, Bruce says. Meanwhile, at Arkham Asylum, guards are slaughtered by a brutal figure, the Grim Knight, a militarized version of Batman who believes in guns and fear. He clears the path to Joker's cell and paves the way for the true monster. The Batman who laughs steps from the shadows and drives a blade into Joker's head, killing him without hesitation. Back at GCPD, Bruce shows Gordon the photo of the grinning bat. He explains that Joker's heart holds a toxin that infects whoever kills him, turning them into the next Joker. That thing, Bruce says, is me, but also him. To prepare for the inevitable danger, Bruce begins to piece together the threat and realizes he needs help. He opens the Batcave's hidden waterway, and from below, the Joker emerges. He'd been swapped with a decoy at Arkham, but he does not want to be protected. He pulls a gun, smiles, and fires it into his own chest. As he collapses in Bruce's arms, he whispers, "The only way you beat him is to become him." The toxin leaks and Bruce breathes it in. Alfred asks what's wrong, and Bruce looks up, grinning, and laughs. And then things take a dark turn. The Joker lies on the operating table in the Batcave, barely alive after shooting himself through the heart. Only Alfred's precise hands are keeping him from dying, his tools soaked in blood as he operates with grim focus. Bruce stands over them, jaw clenched, refusing to let Joker die, even as Alfred quietly questions the point of saving him. But Batman is firm, no one dies on his table, not even the worst monster he's ever faced. It's not just his rule, it's the line that keeps him from becoming him. Meanwhile, the toxin Joker left behind still pulses inside Bruce's body, and he's doing everything he can to slow it down. He's already pumped himself with multiple shots of antitoxins, trying to hold on to his mind, but the pressure is building. Every breath feels more dangerous and every moment more fragile. Out in Gotham, chaos hits again. A man is thrown from the top of a building and slams into a car below, yet another dead Bruce Wayne, dragged from another universe and dropped into this one, only to die before anyone even knows his name. To get closer to the crime scene, Bruce disguises himself as a rough-edged detective and slips inside. This Bruce was another version who gave up the cape, another life stolen. But as Batman investigates, the Joker toxin claws through his mind. For a second, Bruce loses control and almost attacks a young officer in front of everyone. He barely stops himself, rattled by how close he came to crossing the line. Later, Bruce explains to Gordon the secret under Gotham, fail-safes built by the city's founders to protect the people. He reveals his own upgrade, a modern version centered around Wayne Tower, a system that can purify air, seal off disaster zones, and restore Gotham in a crisis. He calls it the last laugh. But high above, the Batman who laughs strolls into Wayne Tower, killing guards without hesitation. Despite Batman racing to stop him, the Batman who laughs is ready, and the Grim Knight's sniper shot hits Bruce. Yet that's not the only damage. Having set up explosives in the tower, the Batman who laughs escapes, and the tower explodes as Bruce barely escapes. Furious and poisoned, Bruce returns to the Batcave. He wants answers. After being pressured, the Joker laughs weakly and points Bruce toward the only person who might know the plan: the psychopathic villain, James Gordon Jr. But will he be of any help? In a dim warehouse, Commissioner Gordon meets with the last person he ever wanted to call for help: his own son. James Gordon Jr., a known psychopath and reformed killer, now lives a carefully monitored life under parole. His ankle bracelet tracks every step, and even his own father reminds him, "I voted against your release, but don't think I'm not watching you." Still, tonight Gordon needs him, and so does Batman since he is running out of time. With more dead Bruce Waynes appearing and the toxin inside him growing stronger, he's willing to risk everything to understand what the Batman Who Laughs will do next. He shows James a full schematic of Gotham's vulnerabilities, hoping his dark mind might see what Bruce can't. James studies it, his calm face hiding the storm that still lingers beneath the surface. But before any theories can surface, the warehouse explodes in gunfire. The Grim Knight arrives armored and ruthless, demanding Gordon be handed over. In defiance, a shootout erupts between him and Batman, a war of shadows and bullets. Bruce manages to trap the Grim Knight on a moving train, hoping to buy time to escape. But it's not enough. The Grim Knight's forces surround the building, and Batman is given a cruel choice: hand over Gordon or let a sabotage plane full of civilians crash. Bruce surrenders to Gordon to save the flight. After Gordon is taken, only Batman and James Jr. remain, an unstable hero and a half-medicated killer forced to work together. Meanwhile, the Batman Who Laughs arrives at the Iceberg Lounge, and the Penguin never sees it coming. Flames, blood, and death tear through the room, and another Bruce Wayne is dragged in. The Laughing Bat injects him with something, then kills him. At this point, whatever he's doing, it's not random. There's a twisted pattern in all these Waynes dying. Back in the cave, things get worse. The Joker awakens and vanishes into the night, slipping away like he always does. And Bruce, desperate for clarity, makes a terrifying choice. He forges a visor made of pure dark metal, just like the Batman Who Laughs wears. The moment he puts it on, he sees the city like his enemy does. But he also feels himself slipping closer to madness as the toxin grins inside him. What he does next shocks everyone around him. Bruce finally puts on the visor, the same dark metallic headpiece forged in twisted realms, one that lets the Batman Who Laughs see not just this world, but the decaying possibilities of the Dark Multiverse. As soon as he places it over his eyes, Alfred immediately rips it off, horrified by the sight of Bruce's bloodshot eyes, and his face twisted into a Jokerized grin that shouldn't belong to him. Bruce tries to justify it, insisting that the visor allows him to see across dimensions, to track where the next Bruce Wayne might emerge from the Dark Multiverse. Seeing that Alfred is defiant, he threatens to take it from him. Although Alfred looks torn, he calmly says, "You'll try," and slams the visor back onto Bruce's head so hard that it draws blood, triggering something inside Bruce that wasn't meant to be activated. The Joker toxin inside him flares up violently, pushing Bruce into an uncontrollable rage as he lunges at Alfred with fists clenched. What follows is a brutal, heart-wrenching fight between two people who were once like father and son, now caught in a desperate clash driven by madness and fear. Until Bruce suddenly stops himself, chest heaving, and with a final scream, manages to shove the Joker's voice into the back of his mind, collapsing into Alfred's arms in a broken embrace that's equal parts sorrow and strategy. They know the visor is dangerous, but it's also the only way forward, and meanwhile, somewhere deep in the sewers, Commissioner Gordon is strung up and bleeding. He's being interrogated by the Grim Knight, a version of Batman who used guns instead of rules, while the Batman Who Laughs watches and mocks him. The Grim Knight then frees Gordon, but unleashing his rabid, sharp-toothed Robins to hunt him down since, in the Grim Knight's world, Gordon was his mortal enemy. Back in Gotham, Bruce runs through the city wearing the visor, seeing corrupted timelines, echoes of broken Batman, and haunted versions of himself that shake his sanity. James Gordon Jr. checks in by radio, asking if he's put in place a failsafe. Bruce solemnly admits that he has, the Joker himself, who meets Bruce later and agrees with that twisted grin to kill him if he ever fully transforms. The visor finally works, revealing the next breach location at Blackgate Prison. But as Bruce rushes in, the guards spot him through the glass and, mistaking him for the laughing Batman, open fire. Bruce is left helpless as he watches the real monster laughing through the smoke, slaughter yet another Bruce Wayne on the other side of the glass wall. But then, something unexpected happens. After brutally crashing through a wall of glass and using the lifeless body of an alternate version of himself as a makeshift shield, Batman staggers to his feet, wounded but unbroken. And in a final act of psychological warfare, he lifts the decapitated head of the dead Bruce Wayne and sends a message soaked in venom, vowing to return not just for his enemies, but for everyone they care about. He promises suffering so deep that this version's death will seem like a kindness. With this grotesque theater of fear, the guards, stunned into silence and unsure whether to interfere, let him walk away untouched. But while he walks free, it is clear something irreversibly dark has taken root. Beneath the city, in the sewage-soaked depths of Gotham, James Gordon is still trapped in a waking nightmare as the Rabbit Robins, these feral, jokerized child monsters, gnaw at him like rats. The Grim Knight, his twisted captor, explains with a sadistic calm that these creatures are all alternate versions of Gordon's own son, James Jr., dragged from different timelines and reshaped into vicious killers. But what chills Gordon deeper than the monsters themselves is the Knight's claim that his son didn't need convincing, that James Jr. wanted to become this thing, as if the darkness was always waiting inside him. Then, almost impossibly, Gordon's real son emerges from the shadows and guns down the snarling Robins with merciless precision, saving his father and forcing the Grim Knight to retreat into the tunnels. As the two Gordons make their escape toward the surface, another Bruce Wayne faces a different confrontation above. In the lair of the Court of Owls, another Bruce Wayne appears, this one dressed in Talon robes, only to be quickly and coldly dispatched by the Batman who laughs. After reuniting in the Batcave, Batman, Gordon, and James Jr. face a horrifying truth. The Batman who laughs has been using a twisted serum to corrupt people into their worst selves. And to make matters worse, the last laugh protocol, meant to protect the city, is now hijacked for Gotham's doom. As the countdown ticks to zero, Batman, poisoned by Joker toxin and crumbling inside, lets it happen, staring into the abyss as Gotham begins its fall. From then on, everything descends into madness. Alfred's voice cracks over the comms, telling Bruce the truth he already knows but refuses to accept. The Joker toxin has spread so deeply that only 10% of his blood remains untainted. Yet even with 90% of his body corrupted, Batman still clings to his identity, still believes he can save Gotham with one final plan that balances on the edge of madness and desperation. It all depends on Jim and James Gordon holding the Grim Knight back from reaching the reservoir and poisoning the entire city. So, the father and estranged son armor up using experimental suits from the Batcave's forgotten vaults, preparing for war, while Bruce marches alone into the final battlefield, ready to face the version of himself he fears he's becoming. As Bruce removes the dark visor that allowed him to see through his enemy's eyes, he chooses, for the last time, to witness the world with his own, no longer hiding behind the darkness he was forced to wear. As interdimensional lightning licks the stormy skies above Gotham, the Batman who laughs arrives with a grin as sharp as broken glass and a soul even darker, mocking Bruce for clinging to his fading humanity. This dark Batman promises that while Bruce might have failed as a Batman, he'll make a damn good monster. The two Batmen collide with unholy fury, fists slamming against bone and chain, wrapping around armored throats, as below them, the Grim Knight tears through Wayne Tech's last defenses like they were paper. But before he can spill the toxin into Gotham's lifeline, a net crashes down from the shadows and the Gordons descend like fallen angels, wearing early prototypes of what would become Batman Beyond suits, their guns blazing against a foe born from war. The Grim Knight laughs through the bullets, taunting James with the memory of his abandonment, twisting the knife by insisting his father never loved him. But Jim Gordon throws his fists in defiance, shouting his love into the darkness, even as he's choked nearly to death, and as blood paints the underground in shades of rust. Meanwhile, Bruce is stabbed again by the Batman who laughs, this time directly in the chest, flooding his heart with toxin until there's no light left to hold on to. Will he survive? Convulsing beneath Gotham's bleeding sky, Batman lies shattered, his bloodstream almost entirely claimed by the Joker toxin as his body twitches and bends into something monstrous. Each cell is a battlefield of pain and corrosion, and yet, as he stands, shoulders trembling and jaw clenched, a cruel, involuntary grin pulls at his face, mirroring the demon standing across from him, who watches with gleeful satisfaction as Bruce teeters on the edge of complete transformation. "You feel it, don't you?" The Batman who laughs whispers, lifting his gun, fingers eager, eyes glowing with hatred. "Letting go, becoming me. Feels good, doesn't it?" And for a moment, Bruce offers no resistance, no words, just silence, which the laughing demon mistakes for surrender, until a flicker, small but defiant, flares in Batman's gaze, ruining the illusion. Snarling in rage, the Batman who laughs fires, not to finish, but to punish, riddling Bruce's shoulder with bullets, vowing to end it slowly now, not out of necessity, but vengeance. Below, in the flooded reservoir, Gordon's scream gurgles beneath the water as the grim night forces his head under. With the drone swarm closing in, the city's doom is nearly certain. But a glint of metal flashes as the knife is pulled from the depths by James Jr. When ordered to kill his father, he defiantly drives the blade into the grim night again and again, until blood and steel drown the war-born Batman in silence. As Gordon halts the drones with seconds to spare, above them the Batman who laughs chases a child, the kid version of Bruce Wayne shown at the beginning, into a graveyard soaked in memories and stormlight. Here, Alfred waits, trembling but unrelenting, and fires a full shotgun blast into the demon's chest, screaming him back to hell. Still, the monster rises, but Batman returns too, not broken but sharpened, revealing that traps had been laid across Gotham's most sacred spaces: Crime Alley, the Cave, the Manor. And before the Batman who laughs can react, he's struck with harpoons, laced with uranium and electricity, pinned like a demon insect beneath the tombstone of Martha Wayne, smashed by Bruce's final act of defiance. As Bruce is about to fully transform, the Joker, who'd promised to kill him should he transform, appears and shoots Bruce. But Joker's bullet halts Bruce's full transformation long enough for Alfred to save him. And though Gotham breathes again, its shadows remain poisoned as Jim Gordon walks away, his blood already tainted by the Joker toxin.